What's going on, guys? MariK here, and today we're back to cover the playable classes in the Star Wars Battlefront 2 game. In each of these videos, we'll be going over the new loadouts as well as the new mechanics for each of the available classes, as well as giving you a little bit of insight into why you should or should not choose each particular class. In Battlefront 1, each faction had their own specialist class, alongside the 4 default classes. However, in Battlefront 2, they've taken it a step further and introduced a second subset class, referred to as the Officer class. So now we have the Officer class and the Specialist class. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Specialist classes for each of the 4 factions. In order to play as one of the Specialist classes, a player must reach a total of 12 player points to be able to play as them, and a player can obtain points by either killing enemy units or capturing command posts. At the bottom of this list is going to once again be the Droid Deca, which has a total of 550 health. But what gets me is the lack of mobility and utility. It only has one weapon, being its primary dual firing cannons, which, while they have a very high rate of fire, they do a lot of damage, they do overheat, and you have nothing else at your disposal. While your only secondary weapon is the Droid Deca's shield, which does grant the Droid Deca a total of 3,000 extra health, but as soon as that shield takes damage, it loses about 100 health a second on top of the damage that it's taking. But until it does take damage, you can walk around on those little Droid Deca tippy toes all day with the shield open without having to worry about it draining. While its mobility does hinder the Droid Deca, when you deploy into the ball mode, you can get across very large distances very quickly, especially if you activate the sprint. However, if you are using the sprint while you are rolled up in the ball mode, if you hit something, whether it be a solid object, or you will take damage to your Droid Deca's health, so you have to be really careful about that. Its best use is to hold down command posts or to just stand in the middle of choke points where not only your enemies can't get through, but your allies can't get through either, which is a bit of the downside, because then you have allies that could be behind you and can't shoot past the Droid Deca's shield. But it does prevent enemy units from trying to get past you without just straight up killing you. So it does have its merits, but I do still feel like it is the worst of the 4 specialist classes. Up next, we have the Wook Warrior for the Rebellion. This unit has the highest health total out of any unit from any of the factions, with a total of 800 health. This thing is a tank. The downside to having so much health is the fact that this unit is a lot slower, but you know what you're getting with the Wook Warrior. The Wookiee has a very unique loadout, with its bowcaster having a total of 210 rounds and a total of 35 rounds in each magazine. However, the Wookiee's bowcaster plays completely backwards to how it did in the first game, with every shot using 7 rounds fired off in a horizontal spread, while charging it now fires one singular shot. It's a bit different, and if you're used to playing the Wook Warrior in the first game, it is very easy to get mixed up with how they play, but it shouldn't take that long to get readjusted between the 2 games. Its secondary weapon is a grenade launcher with a total of 15 rounds and 5 in each magazine. You fire off one grenade and it will detonate on impact. However, if you charge the grenade launcher, then it will shoot the grenade farther and it will detonate with a delayed fuse. The Wookiee is also equipped with 4 thermal detonators and 1 recon droid like the Imperial officer and the Magna Guard. It has its primary blaster pistol firing method, as well as the alt fire that causes it to detonate and send out a large explosion. Up next, we have my personal favorite unit for the Clone Troopers. It is the Clone Jet Trooper, back in all of his glory. This unit, first of all, the design is amazing. It takes the Phase 2 Clone Trooper and dials it up to 11. It's back with its standard loadout from the first game, with the EMP launcher carrying a total of 8 EMP rounds, 2 in each magazine, the Commando pistol that fires twice as fast as the regular infantry pistol, and a total of 4 thermal detonators. You can activate the jetpack by double tapping the jump button, and then once you're in the air, you can use your left thumbstick to control the jetpack and move yourself wherever you want to go. If you want to go higher up in the air, you can just use the right thumbstick to look upward and you will just fly further up into the air. Once the fuel tank drains, then you will drop back down. However, aerial troopers don't receive fall damage, so it doesn't matter how high you are. Once you're jetpack runs out of fuel, you will take no fall damage. You can also give yourself an increased jump by triple tapping the jump button. This will give you a very short burst from the jetpack, which will get you a little more distance and a little more height with your jumps. The Jet Trooper is just as good in Battlefront 2 as it was in Battlefront 1, perhaps even better with the increased mobility, although it only has 300 health, making it tied with the Sniper unit for the lowest health total. It is the Republic's biggest powerhouse. The EMP shots still take down Droid Decas better than any other unit that the Republic can throw at it. The jetpack still gives you greater mobility than any other unit in the game. It's easily the best unit to use when playing as the Republic, and comes just shy of being the best unit in the entire game. Hey, guys, we're trying to do a video. Get out of here. The best by far, and my personal favorite of the specialist classes, is the Imperial Dark Trooper, back with a brand new weapon. The Dark Trooper's Arccaster is a fantastic upgrade from the blast cannon that it had in the first game. With a total of 25 rounds and 5 in each magazine. Unlike the blast cannon, the Arccaster has fantastic accuracy, can two-shot enemy units and one-shot enemy units when you have the damage boost activated. And when fully charged, the lightning will chain off and hit a maximum of 4 additional targets, which can easily net you up to 5 kills in one shot. This weapon alone makes the Dark Trooper my all-time favorite class to play. You just shred groups of enemies with very little effort, and with the upgrade to the commando pistol that the Jet Trooper has, that it did not have in the previous game, your commando pistol fires twice as fast as its blaster pistol did in the first game, and once you get that award pistol, you're able to snipe and get one-shot headshots on enemy units, combined with the Arccaster being able to kill off a total of 1 to 5 enemies. Combined with a total of 4 thermal detonators, the Imperial Dark Trooper is the literal definition of crowd control. The thing that separates the Dark Trooper from the Republic Jet Trooper, and makes it a better unit in my opinion, is its jump pack. Where the Republic Jet Trooper gets a jetpack that when you double tap the jump button, you hover in midair and you can take control of where you fly around. The Imperial Dark Trooper's jump pack doesn't give you as much control, and once you press the jump button twice, you shoot up into the air at a very high velocity, which is great for escaping from any bad situations or just putting some distance between yourself and your enemy. It uses half of the Jet Trooper's fuel tank, so you can get 2 jumps in one full tank. While in midair, the jump pack will not replenish its fuel tank until you hit the ground. However, with my personal trick, you can use the jump pack and replenish the jump pack without having to wait to hit the ground. This gives you a total of 3 jumps with the jump pack instead of the usual 2, which, depending on the map and how crazy the matches get, can make all the difference between life and death. I like to call this trick rocket hopping. In order to do this trick, instead of just double tapping the A button and letting yourself launch, if you triple tap it instead, you will activate the jump pack and then deactivate it, and with the initial velocity of the jump pack, it will still send you flying, and if you tap it again a 4th time, you will activate the jump pack again, giving you an even further boost across the map. However, that second boost will completely drain the fuel tank of its reserves, but it can launch you completely across an entire map in just one jump. It's because of these tricks that I learned with the jump pack, combined with the Dark Trooper's new powerful weapon, that I have placed the Dark Trooper as the best of the 4 specialist classes, and honestly, it's the best unit in the game. And I'll continue to main the Dark Trooper every time that I get to play as the Empire. So that's going to be it for our tutorial explanation of the specialist classes for the 4 various factions. Personally, I think the specialist classes are much better than the officer classes overall. When it comes to the Rebels, I would much rather use the Wookiee than the Bothan Spy myself. Aside from the fact that it has significantly less health than the Wook Warrior's massive 800, its loadout just isn't as impressive and is much more situational to me. When it comes to playing as the droids, the Droid Deca can be great, but if I had to choose between one or the other, I'd rather play as the Magna Guard. When it comes to clone troopers, I actually think that the Jet Trooper and the Clone Commander are both very solid units. They're both very good, top of the line. You can't go wrong with either one of them. They're both great, they both have their utility, and they both work really well on any of the maps. But hands down, when it comes to the Empire, the Officer is not a bad class, but it's just outclassed by pretty much most of the other classes. I'd actually rather play some of the infantry classes. But I will choose the Dark Trooper every single time. It is the greatest class in the game and is my all-time favorite class in the game. Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection comes out in just 2 weeks, so we hope to see you on the Battlefront.